All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is the week of Thanksgiving, which happens to be the last week of the month for November this year. You know that holiday does travel around. It's always going to be the fourth Thursday of the month. So some years you get it earlier in the month, and this particular one we got it right at the end. And so, which means you have a shorter shopping season for Christmas for those of you that are going to do some Black Friday shopping. On the screen, you're going to see something that says the scroll marked 9. And again, every time we send an email on one of these, we've included the PDF of the book, and we have also included a PDF of just the scrolls. And this is the last book club, if you will, the last Zoom we're doing on the 10 scrolls from the greatest salesman in the world. Again, a book that I was given and didn't read for 7 years. And then when I finally read it, it only took like 2 hours to read, and I was embarrassed that it took me that long to finally come around to reading it. And every time I've read it, I probably have read this book maybe, no exaggeration, 10, 12 times. Uh, every time I've read it or listened to it, something hits me just a little bit different. Just the way I can relate it to what's going on in my life feels a little bit different. And I anticipate that if you have an open mind and if you read it, and if you continue to read this book every once in a while or listen to it, again, it's only about a 2 hour read. It's free on YouTube. You can actually go on YouTube and play it in the background. They'll read you the entire book for about, again, like 2 hours and 10 minutes is all it takes through YouTube to listen to the entire book. And the scrolls are about an hour and 10 minutes. And so I just hope that you guys get something out of this book and that you guys will continue to listen to it as needed. For me, this book, although it's titled The Greatest Salesman in the World, for me, this is more of a mindset book, a very simple book, but a very powerful book. Adam, you did volunteer to read because you're available right here as we start. And if you don't mind, we'll start with you. And this is a I Will Act Now, scroll number 9 from the book.
Absolutely. I mean, seven. I actually wanted to do the math right there. 7 years, 61,320 hours.
Hmm.
So, for anybody who's on here, if you haven't fully read this one and you're thinking between now and the year 2032, just take 2 hours of those 61,320 hours to go through this. You'll be able to do it. We believe in you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I was
with that,
embarrassed that it took me that long.
hey, listen, you read it more than me. I've got books over here that I haven't touched, like I talked about before. I'm just terrible with that. I'm long form. But speaking of long form, let's go into the scroll mark 9. I will act now. My dreams are worthless. My plans are dust. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they are followed by action. I will act now. Never has there been a map, however carefully executed to detail and scale, which carried its owner over even 1 inch of ground. Never has there been a parchment of law, however fair, which prevented one crime. Never has there been a scroll, even such as the one I hold, which earned so much as a penny or produced a single word of acclamation. Action alone is the tinder which ignites the map, the parchment, this scroll, my dreams, my plans, my goals, into a living force. Action is the food and drink which will nourish my success. I will action now. My procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear, and now I recognize the secret mind from the depths of courageous hearts. Now I know that to conquer fear, I must always act without hesitation, and the flutters in my heart will vanish. Now I know that action reduces the line of terror to an ant of equanimity. I will act now.
And so let's pause there real quick, Adam, and let's break this down. I love the way you read, by the way. You definitely have a voice that I could listen to. You should be a voice actor, man. You're fantastic at this.
Mike, I've got that face for radio, buddy.
I have a friend on the radio, and that's what I tell him. I tell him that all the time. He does a podcast now, actually. Um,
But this one is extremely descriptive, and so when you're reading this, and that's why my intonations were kind of going that way
yeah,
because you can feel some of these things. You want to be inspired and motivated. Action is the food and drink which will nourish my success. I mean, I will act now. That's what we're trying to do here.
yeah, and that's it. It's no matter how good your plan is. You can be the best person at writing a business plan. You can be great at doing a dream board. You can be great at getting your business plan together or just setting goals. But if you take no action, nothing's going to happen. And so there's a lot of agents with a lot of success who never have done a business plan, who never have done goals, but they go out there and they hustle, they work, and they're just relentless in the work ethic and they do well, right? They do very well. And so what this is telling you to do is leading up to these, all of the scrolls are telling you to have a plan, to put it together, to think, to dream, to act on the scripts, to create a script, to get better at the scripts. And now we're telling you, you've done all that. We've gotten you to this point. We're toward the end of the book. If you've paid attention, we've told you to have a business plan. We've told you that in order for your genuine you to come out, that you have to know your script, your contracts, your documents, your forms so well that when you're presenting to a buyer, a seller, or an investor, that the true you comes out. Because until you learn it that way, they're not going to see you. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be tripping up over the words. You're going to be not yourself, not your true you. But if you get to this point where you have finally learned the scripts, learned the contract, and by the way, the contracts are always changing, the forms are always changing. It's something we always need to practice, regardless of how long we've been in the industry. Now we're telling you, great job. We got you here. Go do the work. And so down here in the second paragraph that you read is my procrastination, which has held me back, was born of fear. Look, whether you want to admit it or not, we're all scared of something new. When the new contract came out, we were scared. When, August, not this year, August of the last year, when they changed the way that we earn a commission, they're no longer in the MLS, we were scared. All of us were scared. When COVID happened, we were scared. It is normal to be scared of something new. But I watched I think it was like a Dateline or one of those, and it was several years ago. It wasn't the last Olympics. It was, a couple of Olympics before that. And they went and they did a study on people that were Olympians, people that were athletes. And what they found out is that to them, when they felt butterflies in their stomach, when they got sweaty palms, they wanted the adrenaline rush. To them, in their brain, the way they pushed themselves, the way that they grew up, that was the rush that they were looking for. And then they looked at another group of people who didn't play sports, who wouldn't ever be Olympic athletes. They're the ones watching from the stands in a lot of cases. They also got sweaty palms and butterflies in the stomach just thinking of doing it. But in their brain, it became fear. It became something they didn't want to do. They shrunk back. So the exact same emotions inside of a human body cause two different totally reaction. Adrenaline junkies and ones that are playing it way too safe. And so what it's telling you this paragraph is look, my procrastination has been because of fear. But now I'm no longer scared because now I have practice. Now I know my scripts. Now I know my contracts. Now I know real estate so well that I am confident in myself and in the company that I'm with that I will go and do the work regardless. I'm going to take action. And so, if you don't mind, let's read the rest of this and we'll actually start with that if you don't mind and go for it.
I will act now. Henceforth, I will remember the lesson of the firefly who gives off its light only when it is on the wing, only when it is in action. I will become a firefly, and even in the day, my glow will be seen in spite of the sun. Let others be as butterflies who preen their wings, yet depend on the charity of a flower for life. I will be as the firefly, and my light will brighten the world. I will
That's it.
act now.
That one's beautiful. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that little paragraph. I mean, it's there. It it is self-explanatory. Go out there, be confident, learn your craft, learn your scripts, learn your documents, be the one that people want to work with. Be in real estate because you love it and because you want to do the right thing for your customer. Don't do it because of the commission. Don't do it because you want the time off. This is the time of year that I call agent hibernation season. They go into mainly Thanksgiving and then we don't see them very much until like January 2nd, right? And in some cases, not even until like the second or third week of January. So it's about staying engaged during this holiday season and continuing to learn because people that want to buy or sell during the holidays are serious. A lot of investors have to buy before the end of the year or pay taxes. So, yeah, if you don't mind, let's keep rolling. Let me know when you're out of time.
I will act now. I will not avoid the tasks of today and charge them to tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. Let me act now, even though my actions may not bring happiness or success, for it is better to act and fail than not to act and flounder. Happiness, in truth, may not be the fruit plucked by my action, yet without action, all fruit will die on the vine. I will
That's it.
act now.
How many of you have ever been told that you have a lot of potential? Right? It's something that I hope I have never told you. I don't like that phrase because when I tell you or when I hear when somebody has told me in the past you have a lot of potential, to me what I heard is you could do this, but I don't believe in you. I know that you could do this, but I don't think you have the guts to do it. I don't think you're smart enough to do it. And so for me, I don't like you have potential. So I would always change that. And I hope I've never said to anybody, I hope you have potential. I hope that it came across something like, I know you can do this. I've been in your shoes. I've been in similar shoes, and all you got to do is get to work. And so what it's telling you here is exactly that. How many of you have ever driven? I mean, look where we live. I mean, where we live, there's fruit growing on all the trees everywhere. And have you guys ever gone by an orchard that hasn't been taken care of? One that looks like it's dying. The trees aren't well manicured or taken care of. I mean, you go by orange trees and lemon trees that have been cut into like almost perfect boxes and they're taken care of and they fill up with fruit and you drive by and like, man, that's a lot of fruit. How do the limbs not break? And then you drive a little bit further and there's some that are shrinking back and halfway dying and drying out. When you don't work to your full potential, unbeknownst to you, when people see you, they see an orchard where the stuff is falling on the ground, where the potential is there, but nobody's doing anything, where it's not well taken care of. You see, we get into real estate for the freedom that we have in real estate, but then we don't take care of ourselves or we don't take care of the business that we're supposed to be at. And even though you don't see it in yourself when you're looking in the mirror, the reality is that people around you, people looking at you, people that see you with potential, see you as one of those orchards that has just not been taken care of. And you don't want to ever be looked at that way. And so happiness and truth may not be the fruit that's plucked by my action, but if you don't take any action, you'll be one of those orchards that's not taken care of. And all of you have driven by them because of where we live. And you know what I'm talking about. And you can shake your head yes or no, but people see you that way when they see that you have the ability, but not the work ethic to do it. Continue on, my friend.
I will. It made me think of like just in that right there. I know
Yeah,
Amy's listening. She's up front right
yeah.
now, but we've talked about one of her favorite movies. It's a Bronx Tale, Robert De
Oh,
Niro, Chaz
yeah.
Palminteri, and one of the quotes specifically in there is the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. So when you're
Hmm.
speaking of potential right there, it's something me as a manager and you as a manager, Mike, this is something that we've had to do for forever.
Yeah,
We see potential, and that's why a lot of these agents, we try to bring them over. The ones that come on board, we see the potential. They're not here just because they're here because there's something that we've seen in them, and we want that potential not to be wasted. We want it to grow, which is why we're doing these things on Monday, which is why we got trainings all over the place so that
yeah,
the potential grows, so that we're not going to let that fruit die on the vine. We don't want to see wasted talent. We want to see everybody thrive. So if we're the water, this Monday right now is the water to start the week for everybody, then hey, we'll do this for forever.
yeah, absolutely. Ashley Russell says, "Don't pick on me. I'm multitasking, loading stuff onto our for our event. He can get paid to read books for audio." But I agree, man. Adam, you are you have not only a great face for radio, you have a great voice, man. You should be you'll be the next guy that just is reading off on the movies. The next person, what's it called? You know, the guy. There's an actor that does it all the time. He has a very distinctive voice.
The voiceover actors, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
plenty
that's
of them.
you.
Morgan Freeman, I'm not coming for your job anytime
That's
soon,
it.
or Sir Richard Attenborough, watching Planet Earth, which was always just a peaceful thing. I could have it on in the background and listen to people speak. So I take that
Yes.
as a compliment. Thank you very much for that. We will continue on here. I will act now. I will act now. I will act now. Henceforth, I will repeat these words again and again and again, each hour, each day, every day, until the words become as much a habit as my breathing and the actions which follow become as instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. With these words, I can condition my mind to perform every act necessary for my success. With these words, I can condition my mind to meet every challenge which the failure avoids. I will act now.
Yeah, and so just real quick, I want to break this down. As you were reading that, Adam, a couple of things. I mean, it repeats it three times right here, and then it tells you to keep repeating them again and again and again. So not only does it make you say it out loud three times because they're printed three times for you to read. And one thing came up, and one thing that maybe I don't disclose a lot is I'm still in coaching. I have a communications coach, business coach, life coach, right? It's kind of all of it in one. And as we were talking, I had gotten away from doing affirmations. And I said, I don't like the word affirmations. I said, it's overplayed. I said, can we change it? It's this document that I work on, this document that I have about who I want to be and how I want to be in life. And I changed it from affirmations to a declaration. And what came to me was, the Declaration of Independence as it sits, prior to the Constitution, right? They didn't have an affirmation that they were independent. They declared that they were independent. And so for a lot of us that do affirmations, just to me, the word a declaration was just, it seems stronger. And, I've been doing this for a little while and I'm still in coaching. A lot of us do this. We get in coaching, we get out of coaching. Right now, I don't want to pay for coaching. That's the last thing I want to pay for. I don't run it through the company. I personally pay for it. And so I have my own personal coach that I'm working on. And that's it. It's because it forces me to take action. Look,
Mhm.
you'll probably never see me in a gym. You'll probably never see me, I like taking walks and hikes and doing, but I don't want to pay a gym membership just to not show up. And so for a lot of you that have a personal trainer, you do it because it forces you to take action. For me, having a personal coach was a way for me to force me to take action. And the way to make it painful was to not run it through the company, but to run it through my own personal expense, in my own personal life. And to do it that way, it makes me be accountable. And so, what will it take for you to be accountable? If you can't be accountable to yourself, are you accountable to your spouse, to your kids, to your grandkids? Who is it that you care about that you don't want to let down? And think of them and declare to yourself that I am going to be accountable. I am going to act now. Because when I don't feel like taking action, when I don't feel like making a phone call, when I don't feel like knocking on that door for that for sale by owner, think of them or get yourself a coach because you'll have to write that check or pay that credit card bill and it'll make you act now. And so just take action now. Adam, let me know if you're not out of time, but if you're not,
No,
what's wrong?
I can keep going, but the declarative, it's something that you make an excellent point. I talk about this often with people, especially when agents are talking with, their clients or kind of depending on how the conversations are going. By
Yeah,
being declarative versus, just even an interrogative. An interrogative is just stating, like you're putting a question mark at the end. The
yeah,
declarative is a statement. You are putting a period at the end of the sentence. You are letting them know you are confident in that. You are declaring something right there versus asking something. And you can have those open-ended ones for sure. That's part of the conversation. And you are instilling confidence in somebody else, and people will see that upon you. That's when you're declaring it. You are putting the period at the end of the
yeah,
sentence. When people ask how I get people to do certain things, it's because I'm not necessarily asking them. We could have a conversation, but I'm also making sure that it's a declarative statement. And with that, that's a big, big difference right there. So just when people are going to talk with those clients, like you said, having declaring something, it does
yeah.
mean something. It is more powerful, I believe.
I thought it was, and so we changed my document from affirmations to a declaration. I declare that I'm going to be this or whatever it is that you want to be. I declare that I'm going to be a good manager. In your case, I declare that I'm going to be a good listing agent. I declare that I'm going to learn the listing contract. I declare that I'm going to be somebody that they can depend on and trust. Whatever it is, just to me, it had so much more value and meaning before it. And so, I hope that as we get through some of this, I know that sometimes it feels weird, like we're doing a book club in a real estate school. I mean, what? How are we doing that in a real estate company? But it's important. These are the things in life that unless you learn for yourself, you're not going to learn. And what did Jim Rohn say? Jim Rohn is just a great motivational speaker who passed several years ago, but I got to see him just once, and I'm glad that I did. I don't think I appreciated him until after he passed. But he would say a formal education will get you a degree. Self-education will make you a fortune. And in this chosen career that you have, we have been blessed since COVID that unfortunately for some of the first-time buyers, prices have doubled, guys. Go back and look at the house and the price that it was at 2020 and pull it up right now. It goes up 5 to 7% per year, but not off the original price. Every year it continues to grow, and every year that 5 or 7% that it increases in value is off the new higher value from last year. And they've doubled, which means that if we do nothing else, our income should have doubled if we're still selling the same amount of homes. And so again, I declare that we're in the best business that you could possibly be in. So
That's right. Take it straight from Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind. I do declare.
that's right.
You may not just act now, you do declare. So let's keep going. I'll help you finish this one off, Mike.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Where were we? I will
Right
act
here.
now. I will repeat these words again and again and again. When I awake, I will say them and leap from my cot while the failure sleeps yet another hour. I will act now. When I enter the marketplace, I will say them and immediately confront my first prospect while the failure ponders yet his possibility of rebuff. I will act now. When I face a closed door, I will say them and knock while the failure waits outside with fear and trepidation. I will act now. When I face temptation, I will say them and immediately act to remove myself from evil. I will act now. When I am tempted to quit and begin again tomorrow, I will say them and immediately act to consummate another sale. I will act now.
Again, very simple sentences, very powerful if you take the time to read them and then you break them down and what do they mean for you. If we go here, Adam, what do you take from this? I will enter the marketplace and I will say immediately confront my first prospect with a failure ponders yet another possibility of rebuff.
It goes back to, I mean, we've talked about, just the optimism versus the pessimism. Somebody's immediately
Yeah,
thinking, I'm going in there, I'm going to confront that first prospect. Hey, we're ready to go. How do we get this done? While that failure ponders yet his possibility of rebuff, they're already coming into that door, they're opening it, they're seeing that first person, and they're already expecting a no.
yeah,
They're waiting for that, and that goes back to that weight on the shoulders, that that fear that just
yeah.
sits there for people, and it makes them not want to act.
Yeah, there's 16 of us currently on this Monday, and I get it, man. It's a Monday right before Thanksgiving. A lot of the schools are already off, so a lot of kids are at home. But for those of you that are here, you guys and gals are working while somebody else might still be asleep, or somebody else might even not even be thinking about business yet. And so you're out there working and trying to make a living, and you're hustling before anybody else is even out of the door, before they're even up, and before they've even made their first phone call. And so that's what this part of the paragraph is about. It's not really a paragraph, but this last part of the scroll, it's just telling you, look, when I face the closed door, I will knock on another, and I will keep going, because somebody else that might have too much fear and trepidation because they haven't studied their script, because they're not ready, because they're unsure, because they haven't declared they're going to be a success. And so when I face temptation, I will say immediately to remove myself from evil, and I will act now anyway. When I'm tempted to quit and begin again tomorrow, I will say them to them immediately, and I will start to consummate another cell. I will keep going. Um, I think on the phone call, there's probably only Cindy that knows a friend of mine. He was my best friend in my wedding, and his name is Temo. He had a motorcycle accident years ago, and he's in a wheelchair now. And he's been in a wheelchair now for about 19 years. His youngest son, his wife was pregnant with their son, and so his youngest son doesn't ever know him to be a person that walked. His oldest son does. And I bring this up for one reason. A lot of times when I'm doing, like a 7 mile hike or 10 mile hikes or some of those long ones, or they're going uphill, man, there's sometimes I just want to turn around and not finish it. I just want to turn around and go back to the car. And then I think of myself, or I think of my friend, he can't even take a step. He's permanently in a wheelchair. What wouldn't he do to take a step and be on this hill with me right now? Right. And so for that, that is a motivator that I use. I've told him that story before in the past. I mean, we've kind of have grown apart in life, but I still love the guy, even though I don't see him much. And I use him as a pain point for me to keep me moving forward when I don't feel like doing it. Some of you that were in the business back in 2010, 2011, and some of us, had to sell properties, and some of us lost properties. Myself, I'm talking about myself on this one. And so when I don't feel like doing something financially, I can think of that pain and what I've been through there to push myself to do it forward. Even when you don't feel like it, you got to keep going forward. And so look for these things and these experiences that you have in life to push you forward when you don't feel like doing it. And that's what it's telling you to do right here. When you're tempted to quit and begin again tomorrow, I will say that immediately. I will declare, I'm going to start another sale. I'm going to make one more phone call. I'm going to knock on
Don't
one more
wait.
door. Yeah, don't wait.
Don't
Don't
wait,
wait.
because who knows? Just like that, you don't know. In the previous scrolls, we don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know if
Yeah.
tomorrow is going to come. So why are you going to wait? You could take that in
Yeah.
from a personal end. You could take that from a business end, however it works. But that idea of procrastination, of waiting for something to happen versus you making it happen. Do you want to
Yeah.
be proactive or do you want to be reactive? Guess what? It's better to be proactive. You don't want to have to react to things if you can be proactive. You can do something before it gets to that point.
Yeah. It's always better. You still got a minute or two?
Yeah, yeah, let's go.
Start with that and then go here.
I will act now. Only action determines my value in the marketplace, and to multiply my value, I will multiply my actions. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will work when the failure seeks rest. I will talk when the failure remains silent. I will call on 10 who can buy my goods, while the failure makes grand plans to call on one. I will say it is done before the failure says it is too late. I will
Yeah.
act now.
Want to break this down real quick, just right here. That he is, you'll be making 10 phone calls, you'll be calling on 10 people, you'll be sending out 10 CMAs by email, or you're going to put them in the mail before the failure makes a grand plan to call it just one, myself included, and I'm including myself in this. When I first started in this, I wanted to know what script to use. If I was calling pre-foreclosures, I wanted to know the value. Are they going to do it? I would psych myself out so bad that I'm like, oh my God, am I going to even be able to do this? I would make that phone call and they wouldn't even answer. I spent, hours or days psyching myself up to get ready to make this phone call. They don't even answer. I mean, how many of you have done that? I mean, and
Everybody's
so
going to raise their hand. Yeah.
yeah, and so many, well, what do I say? What I do? Just make the phone call. You're going to have a 5 to 10% answer ratio. You're psyching yourself out. You're going to make 100 phone calls and get 9 to 10 people on the phone if you're lucky, maybe only five. And so don't overthink it. Just make the call. Just knock on the door. We're humans. They got to like you and trust you before they'll do business with you. By God, they don't know any other real estate agent, so they would not be up for sell by owner. I mean, just make the call.
Mm-hmm.
Roll. Let's
I
roll.
will act now, for now is all I have. Tomorrow is the day reserved for the labor of the lazy. I am not lazy. Tomorrow is the day when the evil become good. I am not evil. Tomorrow is the day when the weak become strong. I am not weak. Tomorrow is the day when the failure will succeed. I am not a failure. I will
Hmm.
act now.
I'm not sure why, but to me, what's coming up with this paragraph and the one before it was, man, I've lived here my entire life, basically, right? I was born in Washington State. We moved down here when I was about five, and we'd go back and forth a little bit, but I'm basically from here. And I went to Yosemite for the first time this year. It's always been there. I always took it for granted. I always thought it always would be there, but I finally went. And so it's human nature to procrastinate. And for those of you who don't have that challenge of procrastination, man, you're blessed because a lot of us have that challenge. And all this paragraph and the one before it is telling you to do is look, don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow's evil. Tomorrow is the bait that for the procrastination for people that don't want to do the work today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Get it done today. What do you take from that, Adam?
It's in taking things for granted. I mean, what you
Hmm.
just stated right there,
Hmm.
of where we live, our we're lucky enough to be in just this beautiful basin of the sequoias. We got Yosemite, Sequoia. We're close to the beach right here. We're 2 hours away, from the ocean.
Everything.
We're sometimes, 45 minutes. Some people who live there. There might be somebody on here right now who's up at Camp Nelson. They're up in Three Rivers. They're somewhere because a lot of people are going to be going to cabins for
Yeah.
for the holiday season coming
Yeah.
up, and we're so close to it. Mike, you made a point of going up there, and I think whenever you told me that, I told you, guess you know how many times I've been there? That goose egg right there. It's
Yeah.
it's just something, it's I see it every day. We can walk outside. Yesterday was a gorgeous day. The rain had lifted. You could see the snow-capped mountains right there. And so in my mind, hey, that's gorgeous. I'm thrilled and blessed enough that I can see it. Have I gone up there to experience it? I mean, I've taken a drive up the Highway 190, but not actually gone through and gone up north towards Yosemite, anything like that. So it's something that we do take for granted of what we have in front of us, thinking, you know what, tomorrow's that next day. Maybe I'll make time to go do it then. Well, we've got calendars for that. So if you're going to make time, then make the actual time.
Just
Uh,
make the plan.
and if, yeah, exactly. But if you're free now, then just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good
I just
morning.
wanted to add to what Mike just said, and that was this thing about procrastination and the fear of making that phone call or that door knock. And I've always remembered that people don't care how much you know as long as they know how much you care.
That's so true. That's so true. It's a powerful statement. Unfortunately, for people that have heard it a lot, it almost becomes cliche, but there's a lot of truth in that. And your customers, when they're working with you, with the exception of some investors, your sellers and your buyers, they want to be able to trust you, and they can tell if they're just a number to you. And if your empathy comes out, if you really can care about them and do what's right for them, you will have more success and you will have more repeat and referral business. But if you're doing it just for the money, they don't care how much success you've had in real estate. They don't care that you sell more than anybody else in the office. If you don't care about them, and all they are is a number to you, they might not want to do business with you. And so people want to be cared for. We're humans. We have human emotions. We have a human need of connection. And in this business, it's the number one reason that we will never be replaced by a computer, an app, a tablet, a phone, a robot. They might make our business easier. There might be a few that would rather deal with a computer than a human, but that is not our normal psyche of being human. Yeah. Adam, if you don't mind, take it
Let's
from
finish
right here.
this one strong right now here. I will act now. When the lion is hungry, he eats. When the eagle has thirst, he drinks. Lest they act, both will perish. I hunger for success. I thirst for happiness and peace of mind. Lest I act, I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. I will command, and I will obey mine own command. I will act now. Success will not wait. If I delay, she will become betrothed to another and lost to me forever. This is the time. This is the place. I am the man. I will act now.
That's it. Thank you. Beautiful way to end this scroll. For anybody on here, if you can't unmute yourself, I want to hear either by unmuting yourself what you got from this particular scroll. And if you can't do that, just throw it in the chat. I want to read those out loud. There's a lot here. I mean, it was just a matter of a few pages. If we go here, it was 8 very loosely populated pages. Not even that. It was actually 5 because this goes to the 10. So it's about 5 pages, but 5 very powerful pages if you take the time to read it and really try to take it in. I think that's the problem with a lot of times when we read it is we don't take the information in. We read it to read it, but we don't break it down and relate it to how it can benefit us. And that's the entire purpose of the book club is to make it relatable to you, hopefully as a human, and also as a real estate professional so that you can take the words in and put them to use. And so, Adam, thank you for reading scroll number 9 for me. I appreciate it. Is there anything that this last couple of lines on the paper meant to you or what you got from it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good one to read. This is, the second time now that I've read this. I did get a chance to read this morning
Yeah.
before jumping on. Knowing that I wanted to be prepared a little bit. I mean, it's getting ready to tie everything in because this is essentially the penultimate chapter of the scrolls right
Yeah.
here. So the penultimate, if you're watching a television show, that second to last episode is always like, that's the hype one. That's going to get you
Yeah.
really fired up to finish the story, to get to the end of this. And the way that I, wanted to read this one and inflect on that is kind of in that same way of, especially the way that
Yeah.
this ends, the motivation Monday that comes from this is really coming through in this one. It's letting everybody on here know, same thing. Don't wait till tomorrow. Make that call. That the 10 calls versus the one call that somebody's just building up in their own mind that somebody may not answer. Well, of those 10 that you're making, you're doing so much more than that one individual right there. So it is powerful, and it gives, hopefully it gives people, just more motivation, more encouragement to actually go out and do something, make it a productive day. Doing these on
Yeah.
Mondays has been great because it gives everybody, it's a springboard into the rest of the week. This one being a short week, it's a tougher one, but we're going to be extremely thankful this week. It's a week to really be alive because a lot of
Yeah.
us are going to see family members for maybe the one time this year.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but it's a time to be around the ones that you love. And if there's nobody that you got around, come by the office, come by, hang out with me and Mike. We'll be here. We'll be your friends for Thanksgiving. We're gonna have lunches going on. So it's one of those things to really get people going and just nourish yourself. Be that water for the plant. Don't let that fruit die on the vine. It's something that I think everybody can really, really take just at least one thing from, if not many.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for that, Adam. I want to point out just one of the things that I have highlighted, if you can call it a highlight, it's in blue on the screen. It says, when the lion is hungry, he eats. When the eagle has thirst, he drinks. Lest they act, both will perish. I'm going to relate it to real estate and to life real quick. In what hit me when I first read it, and it still hits me the same way now, 10 times later. How many of you have been up against the wall with bills and you're stressed and you don't know how you're going to pay the next bill, and it could be a utility bill, it could be the rent, it could be, for me back in those days it was the rent, now it's the mortgage, and you are stressed the hell out, and you go to the mailbox and somehow you get a check that you weren't expecting, or your deal closes that you didn't know you were going to close, or you get a cash offer accepted and it closes in the next couple of weeks and it saves your bacon. I hope that we have all had that kind of a blessing and that kind of a story that we can relate to, because it definitely has happened in my life more than once. And when you are pushed up against a wall and you have no choice, you'll eat, you'll make the calls, you'll get that deal done, you'll find a way to make it happen. Because if you don't, the pain of not making that payment, or whatever that situation happens to be, the pain is too strong. So you find a way to get it done, right? You'll work two, three jobs. You'll make ends happen. You'll find a way to get it done. And if you can find it when it's that bad, then it's life telling you that you've always had it inside of you, and you just got to stop procrastinating. You've got to act now before it gets to that pain point. You've always been able to do it. Life happened and it showed you how to do it. But some of us still get backed into a corner before we act. So, Adam, thank you on that one. I want to give you a round of applause for that scroll number 9, man. That was great. Um, we're gonna go on
Happy
with
to
the
help,
scroll.
guys.
Thank you. No, thank you.
I'll still be here. Just I'll
Yeah,
chime in whenever I can.
please do. The next one's called the Scroll Mark 10. I will pray for guidance. This one's going to have a different theme than the previous 9, because what is it? Well, let's get into it and then we'll break it down. I will pray for guidance. Who is of so little faith that in a moment of great disaster or heartbreak has not called to his God? Who has not cried out when confronted with danger, death, or mystery beyond his normal experience of comprehension? From where he has the deep instinct comes which escapes from the mouth of all living creatures in moments of peril. From where has this deep instinct that comes and escapes your mouth in all moments of peril? I had to read that twice. What it's telling you there is when something is bad enough, car accident, bad news, medical, otherwise, when something happens, a great disaster, COVID, right, or 9/11, for those of us that were around for 9/11. I know we have some very young agents. If I bring up 9/11, you'll remember exactly what you were doing the morning that you heard the news, where you were at, because it's seared into your brain. It is burnt in there, as traumatic things often can be. And what does it tell you? Because regardless of what success you've had, when these moments that are so powerful happen, you remember them. And what do? You may have never gone to church since you've been able to make your own decisions as an adult. Maybe you were forced to go to church when you were a kid, you became an adult, you moved out of your parents' house, you stopped going to church. But in those moments when something like this, what's some of the first things? Oh, God, please help me. You start praying. We all do it. It's normal. 80% of the world does it. The other 20% has dementia and don't remember God, or they just are not believers. That's fine too. But move your hand in haste before another's eyes, and his eyelids will blink. Tap another on his knees, and his legs will jump. Confront another with dark horror, and his mouth will say, "My God," from the same deep impulse, right? And so my life need not be filled with religion in order for me to recognize this greatest mystery of nature. All creatures that walk the earth, including man, possess the instinct to cry for help. Why do we possess this instinct? This gift to cry for help? Are not our cries a form of prayer? Is it not incomprehensible to the world governed by nature's law to give lamb or a mule or a bird or a man the instinct to cry for help? lest some great minds have also provided that the cry should be heard by some superior power having the ability to hear and to answer our cry. Henceforth, I will pray, for my cries for my help will only be cries for guidance. So, no matter where you're at in life, there's something bigger than us. And this is a conversation that I've had, because I grew up in a Catholic household, but I didn't always like it, especially as a young dad. I didn't always believe in some of the things. There were so many hypocrites within the church that I went to, and I just like, man, I don't like it. It wasn't for me. And so I've tried a couple of different churches, and it's like, God, I just want to do it online, because then I don't feel judged by some of the people in church. It just was this thing. And so what it's telling you here is that you don't have to think of God as the Almighty, as the know everything, that He's always right. Like, why does God let bad things happen if He's such a good God? It's not that. It's that you have to believe in a power that is greater than us. That's it. Just greater than us, not perfection, not all knowing, just simply a power, a something that is bigger than us as humans, that we can tap into that universe. For those of you that believe in the secret, it's you're tapping into that, and you're tapping into some of that wisdom and that guidance and that help when you need it. And that you're able to cry for help when you need it and to pray for it when you need it. Because for a lot of us, we ask for it when we need it, when somebody is sick, when somebody's in the hospital, when somebody got bad medical news, when somebody's had an accident, when you've been pushed up against a wall with something that wasn't your fault. You have those prayers. But this is asking you, but why? Why does it have to get to that point? Can't you pray before you get there? Can you ask for, what does it say here, guys and gals? Can they only be Christ for guidance? Maybe that's all you need. Maybe you just need some guidance before things get really bad. And maybe if you ask for guidance more often, maybe daily, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, whatever works for you, maybe if you just ask for guidance more often, then it wouldn't be such a big thing that it doesn't have to get to a big traumatic thing for you to ask for help. So what it'll say here is, never will I pray for material things of the world. I'm not calling to a servant to bring me good. I'm not ordering an innkeeper to provide me with a room. Never will I seek delivery of gold, love, good health, petty victories, fame, success, or happiness. Only for guidance will I pray. And then may I be shown the way to acquire these things, and my prayer will always be answered. So don't, so this is off the script here. This is going back to Jim Rohn. Don't wish things were easier. Wish that you were better. And maybe that's what we need to ask for, is just that guidance. I want to be better at what I do. I want to know the scripts. Please teach me the ways. Please allow me to understand these contracts. Please teach me how to have conversations with people about real estate. See, the guidance I seek may come, or the guidance I seek may not come, but are not both these an answer? If a child seeks bread from his father and it is not forthcoming, has his father not answered? I will pray for guidance, and I will pray as a salesman in this manner. O Creator of all things, help me, for this day I go out into the world naked and alone. And without your hand to guide me, I will wander far from the path which leads to my success and happiness. It's guidance. Hey, look, I don't know how to do this. The contracts are changing. It's a different world. I got to represent buyers, and they don't have the money to pay me my commission. Guide me in the best way to write up my offer and negotiate my commission, so that we can still get this offer accepted and closed, and I can still make a commission. So I can still get compensated and do what's best for this client. See, I ask not for gold or garments or even the opportunities equal to my ability. Instead, guide me so that I may acquire the ability equal to my opportunities. That is it. Just guide me. Guide me so that I can learn, continue to learn, and as I learn more, my opportunities will increase. You have taught the lion and the eagle how to hunt and prosper with teeth and claw. Teach me how to hunt with words and prosper with love, so that I may be a lion among men and an eagle in the marketplace. And here I got to remind you to go back to scroll number 1. It says, when you have success, you need to give some back to charity. Give some back to those less fortunate than you. So when you're having success, you have to give back to your community. And are we not a community-based organization? Don't we make a living off our communities? Don't we sell our communities? We sell the homes, the structures that make up a community. Without homes and structures and buildings, there is no community. And so this is how we make a living, so we must give back. And so help me to remain humble, though, obstacles and failures, yet hide from mine eyes, and that prize will come with victory. So again, help me to be humble enough to where I'm good enough to where the obstacles and failures, they hide to me. They just become another objection that I can handle. Just something else that's another speed bump along the way of closing that transaction. See, assign me tasks to which others have failed, yet guide me to pluck the seeds of success from their failures. So allow me to learn from somebody else's mistakes and experience, or just their experience. Maybe it's not a mistake, but allow me to learn from somebody else's experience. Confront me with the fears that will temper my spirit, yet endow me with courage to laugh at my misgivings. So give me those obstacles and that experience of bad appraisals, bad this or that, so that I can learn how to get through them, but not be completely coming apart at the seams because the escrow didn't close or we have a speed bump or we got to find a different lender. So it's telling you to have that experience and to learn from that. Spare me sufficient days to reach my goals, yet help me to live this day as though it was my last. So again, increase my success so that I have more transactions more often, but let me not forget how to live and have gratitude. See, guide me in my words that they may bear fruit. So again, guide me so that my scripts and my conversations are effective, that I have the knowledge to carry a smart, intelligent conversation that is honest, yet truthful, yet makes sense to both myself and to my clients. So it'll move the conversation forward and the transaction forward. Yet silence me from gossip that none may be aligned. So again, it's better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. If you have heard a rumor, don't allow me to talk about the rumor. Allow it to die when it reaches me. See, I want my words, because words are very strong. I want my words to be a positive energy in the world and to not allow myself to fall into gossip. So silence me from gossip that if my words are not productive, if they're not good, if they don't have merit, if they're not going to carry my declarations forward in life, my purpose forward in life, let it die to where I don't say those words. So I remove those words from my vocabulary. So again, very small. These two sentences are very, very small, but you really got to get the message in them. And let's keep rolling. Let's go here. Discipline me in the habit of trying and trying again and not giving up, basically. Yet show me the way to make use of the law of averages. So again, when it comes to making phone calls, when you're going to go to a listing appointment, it is an average of 7 to 8 no's before you get the final yes. And so give me the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience to understand that when I get a no in a listing appointment, that I don't give up, that I keep pushing forward, that I want to get 7 or 8 of them, because I know that if I can keep going forward and get 7 to 8 no's, that finally I will get the listing. So that is important. Favor me with the alertness to recognize opportunity, yet endow me with a patience which will concentrate my strength. Bathe me in good habits, the bad ones may drown. So get rid of the bad habits, get them out of my system. Yet grant me compassion for the weakness in others. Suffer me to know that all things shall pass. Love that one. All things shall pass. Yet help me count my blessings today. If you find yourself somewhere that's a difficult situation right now, maybe it's the holidays for you, maybe you're spending your first holidays without some loved ones. That's always a tough year when you're spending your first one without some loved ones that have passed away, maybe in the last year or the year before. It is tough. It's not an easy time. So right here is how many count my blessings today, because all things shall pass, and expose me to hate, so it is not a stranger, yet fill my cup with love to turn strangers into friends. What it's telling you here is something that we've all had, unfortunately, maybe some experience with, which is challenges will come to you in life and people will talk negatively about you or people will treat you poorly in some kind of a way. But it's telling you that when you have that, to understand that experience, but yet fill my cup with love to turn strangers into friends. So when you hear that negative talk, empty it out, empty the cup out, because humans are like garbage trucks. If you've heard that story, they will dump on you when they are loaded with all this trash, and they'll do it and they'll dump this trash on you when you don't deserve it. So what this line is telling you is to dump that trash out, Don't keep that trash in your cup. Fill your cup with love to turn strangers into friends. So when someone does that, kill them with kindness. And so again, it is just a fact of life that people can be like dump trucks, and they'll dump on you and speak negatively. Don't take it in. I said this, a couple weeks ago. Boats don't sink in a storm in the ocean because they have 30-foot waves. Ships sink from the water that gets inside. And even if it's a standstill, crystal smooth lake or ocean, they can sink from letting the water in. And that's what this is telling you. It is expose me to hate so that I'm no stranger to it, so that I can understand it and be empathetic to others that are going through it, yet fill my cup with love and let that be what fills my cup. But with all things, be only if thy will. I am a small and lonely grape clutching onto the vine, yet through haste made me different from all others. Look, we're all humans. We're all of the human breed. We're all in real estate. We're all licensed real estate agents. Yeah, there's about 10,000 licensed real estate agents from Madera to Bakersfield. And if you go all mountainsides, just in this big area that we call the valley, that we call the home, there's 10,000 other people just like me. But somehow make me different that where people want to work with me. That's it. I am unique in my own way. So verily there must be a special place for me. Help me, show me the way. Where do I belong in this sea of real estate agents? There's 120,000, sorry, that number's now. There's 90,000 of us that are in California because there's been a lot of them that have gone out of the business. Out of this 90,000, why me? Why me? Show me. Give me the confidence. Give me the skill set. Give me the empathy. Allow me to learn about myself so that I can then go out there and help my clients in my community. Let me become all you planned for me when my seed was planted and selected by you to sprout in the vineyard of the world. Help this humble salesman. Guide me, God. And that is the end, guys. That is the end of our scrolls. Yeah, I know. It is strange to bring something that feels so religious into the real estate world and into the office. But the reality is, regardless of your belief system, you got to believe in something that is greater than you, something that can guide you, give you the experience that you need in life, and just help you be your North Star to have something to focus on and move forward. So there was a lot to break down in these 10 scrolls. Again, they were attached to this morning's email. If you saw this morning's email, the entire book is there in a PDF that you can print out or just save on your computer. And then you have the scrolls. And I really, really hope that you guys take some time, if you guys have some time off for a little bit, and just read them one more time. And as you're breaking it down, break down that sentence or that bullet point and try to make it relate to your life and to wherever you happen to be at in your career and even in your personal life. You see, this book is more about your mindset than it is about being a good salesperson. So that's all I got, Sandra. How do we do?
You did excellent. And I really appreciate your time. Most brokers would
Yeah.
not give us this much time. Um, yeah, I just think that this was a perfect book for the perfect time of year.
Yeah.
A lot of us have to reset and rejuvenate and get ready because we all kind of start all over January 1st with the same record.
Yes.
So, and that's always kind of, I get a little, ugh, how am I going to do this again? How do I make it through another year? But you know, as a reminder, you were talking about your friend that's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I think we just really have to think about how blessed we are and working hard. When you're working hard and you're making money, you can make choices to help people and do things. And
Yeah.
I know about being a good salesman, that's what really comes to mind for me. We dropped off all our coats at the homeless shelter this week, and I don't know, they do this big steak dinner, and it was amazing how many people had been in line for hours to get a jacket and a steak dinner served to them outside. It was
Yeah.
there, it was incredible. There were people all the way around the block. So just thinking about our new year and being blessed and being able to be a salesman, that I think that's amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we are all blessed in different ways to be in this career, to be whether we chose this career or whether it chose us. The reality is, I've always considered this to be the greatest career that I could have ever chosen or fallen into by accident
Me too.
because it's a community based job and career. We literally sell the buildings in communities, and when a house is sold, people typically paint them, they upgrade them, they update them, they hire a handyman, they do the work themselves. They might buy some furniture, they might want to buy a TV, they might want to buy some new clothes. There's so many things that it feeds throughout the community whenever a property is sold, and we're a major part of that. And if we don't take it for granted, we could really make a difference in our own community, in our own neighborhood, and more importantly, in the life of those around us. Because whether you realize it or not, your kids are looking at you. And we all kind of know that, but what we don't realize is their friends are looking at you. The neighbors are looking at you. Your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, the friends that you have, they're all looking at you. And they all look at you through their set of eyes. You see, you are a role model for so much more than just your house. And when you can do this and do it well and do it with kindness, you can make a difference that goes way beyond your house, way beyond your home, there's people looking at you that you didn't know were looking at you. And so we have a great responsibility, but the reality is we don't always look at ourselves that way. And so just slow down, let the world go on, let the world be crazy, be yourself, be authentic, and don't sell yourself short. So,
I like
Cindy,
that.
any last words? You good? All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. I want to show you one thing before you guys go. I'm going to put it on the screen real quick. In order to try to keep everybody engaged through the holidays and more importantly, right at the beginning of the year, we have purposely set up a training for the entire company. It is January 6th. Please put that in your calendar. It is the very first Tuesday in January. It's the Quantum Real Estate Agent Summit. If that sounds familiar, that's the title of Mike's book, The Quantum Real Estate Agent. We have Jared James as our main speaker. His wife, Linda James, who is a Fresno native, great with technology. She'll be on the stage with him. And then we have Freddie Perez, who's out of the Lindsay area, now lives in Bakersfield. I've never listened to him speak. It's the very first time he's going to be on our stage. I've never heard him. It'll be the first time that I get to hear from him. I'm excited. I've heard Jared James in the past. I've never heard Linda James just in person in our sales meetings, but never with this kind of a venue. And so I'm excited for the two speakers at the bottom simply because they're a new experience for me. But with Jared James, I just love the message that he has, and he's no longer doing these big events. And so we're very blessed to have him. It's on purpose that we're doing it the first week of January because we want to get everybody back re-engaged in real estate and out of hibernation season and back into the reality of real estate sales. And so here is, you don't need to RSVP, but we're hoping that you do because we want to make sure we have enough chairs for everybody. It is free to all of our agents. It is also free to anybody that you know that happens to be in the real estate industry. So whether they're lenders or vendors in the real estate business, they're invited free of charge. And it is a Tuesday at the Wyndham here off the 99 and the 188 in Visalia, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., completely free. Company's absorbing that cost. We wanted to bring something of value to you and hopefully some motivational things that'll help you get you going right off the year, help get the year started off right. And so please take a picture of this. This will be in your email also. Adam, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just threw the link in the chat for the Google Form specifically. So if you're unable to scan that QR code, then please click on that Google Forms link and it will take you to the registration page. I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a great way to kick off the year. You, Mike, Sandra.
Yeah.
Sandra's really been working behind the scenes quite a bit
Yeah.
on getting this
Thank you,
done
Sandra.
along with Sabrina. So we're doing all hands on deck for this one. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Jared, if you mostly he speaks out of California a lot, maybe Texas, or I've seen him in Nashville. His tickets are like $500 to go see him.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. He's a great speaker.
Yeah. And just, yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge. He's fantastic.
It's
Ashley, you were
Mary
born in
Jane.
Washington too.
Oh,
Keep going. Whoever had something to say.
oh, it's. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the seminars and the webinars and all the trainings you provide. And it's it's interesting to put it aside of scrolls right? Because in
Yeah.
scrolls, you're asking a supernatural being to help you with cries of help. And I think that you have to pivot that, or you have to adapt it to how do you implement this in a concrete and tangible way. And I think that the trainings is what allows you to do that, that inside yourself or within your family, your community, and among your people, you find that resolve, you find that strength, and you find those answers so that you can overcome the obstacles and the challenges that life will inevitably present
Yeah.
you. So that's what we
Yeah.
wanted to say, that thank you for this upcoming training.
Absolutely. Thank you. And none of us are immune to life's challenges. And so we all have them. We got to keep pushing forward. So again,
So
it's go ahead, Sandra.
Mike, just a note on the book club.
Yeah.
We want to continue next year. I
Mhm.
think after we have our Jared James event, we'll
Yep.
probably come up with a new book and
Yeah. I agree.
continue on Mondays because it seems like it's been very successful and people like it. And if you guys have an idea
Recommendations.
for a book, let us know.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
anyone that wants to rent it too.
Yeah. I will definitely give you some ideas. I got a bunch of books on my table right in front of me over here. There's some great ones in there. Uh, but I want to hear from everybody that's in the company to see what they have. Maybe if we get a one that comes up a few times. But there's definitely some great books. More importantly, um, different books will hit you differently depending on where you're at in your life. And as you said with this one during the holidays, I think this one was just right. I think the title is deceiving. The Greatest Salesman in the World. I think that title was given it that way so it would sell more copies. It's a mindset book. It really is.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. If we don't get a chance to see you this week, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Have a good time, but don't stop working.
Great job,
We
Mike.
will.
Great job, Sandra.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, you guys. Great job.